tax man. I had so much fun in that last segment. I wanted to thank Deborah for the intro of that segment.
That's right. That's a really
we
new...
love the Constitution
That's
on
right.
this show.
We're constitutionalists.
And we're going to talk about the Constitution often on this show, and we want you to join us to do that.
Hopefully, we talk about Illinois' Constitution.
I don't know enough
when they
about
ratify
it.
when they ratified so that you can declare bankruptcy. That's what they're going to have to do.
I agree with that.
That's the only answer there is.
I agree.
I'm not going off right now. This is Mr. Know-It-All.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
I'm right here. I'm always teetering on the edge of rant or not. I have two questions for you today, Attorney Stephen Leahy. The first question is, since it is Veterans Day, do you know why it is Veterans Day today?
The 11th month of the 11th day at the 11th hour is World War I was completed.
People don't really understand World War I and how intense and how that set
died.
up. How many? It set everything up. It set everything up for today.
It actually set everything up for World War II because they didn't finish.
World War II set everything up for today. So in essence, World War I started the modern era.
I agree with that. But let's talk about IRS problem.
Yes, I do. I digress. Please, what's the question today?
The question today is, what is my best advice to somebody who is starting a business? Because remember, it's really the beginning. If you start the business right, you can avoid a lot of problems.
Make money.
Well,
that's good advice.
Well, that's always good advice. But it's hard to make money if you don't set it up correctly.
Exactly.
Okay, and I always talk about, like, for instance, I make a great pie. I mean, I don't, but somebody does. And they want to start a business. And everybody tells, that's the best darn pie I ever had. You should just open a business to make pies and sell them. People will love those pies. And so they say, that's a great idea. I'm going to open up a pie shop. And they make the pies. And they're the best darn pies ever. But nobody ever hears of them. And so nobody buys the pies. So making the best pie is only one ingredient of running a business. The most important part, and we touched on this last week or a couple of weeks ago, where I talked about bookkeeping. Okay, so here's my best advice to you if you're starting a business. Start with a good bookkeeping system. Okay, do it right away. Do it day one. Write everything down. Keep records of everything, because that's what you're going to need to file your tax returns. And it's also going to help you if you're ever going to look for money. So you want money, a bank to loan you money to help your business. They're going to look for records. It's going to come time to the end of the year, and you're going to have to file a tax return. Well, that takes records. I told you that oftentimes what happens with people who get IRS problems is that it comes time for tax season. They don't have the records handy to prepare their tax return, and so the first thing they do is get an extension. And then the extension goes, I'll have all summer now to do the bookkeeping and
I'll pay it in October.
And well, we all know that's a mistake, because the tax is due in April.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No, that's a common mistake.
It's important to touch on that.
I agree with that. And so what happens again is bookkeeping. Get a good bookkeeping system. If you can, hire a bookkeeper. Because sometimes you're great at baking a pie or making a pie, but maybe you're not too good at accounting. Maybe you don't know what a debit or credit is. Maybe you don't know where to put it, what expense that is, if it is an expense. Maybe you don't know how to do that. Well, then hire someone who does. And it's, I'm a new business. I can't really afford it. I'm going to tell you something. You might not be maybe you can't afford not to do this, okay? Because your business won't make it. Because what happens is you dig these problems. And so I have people come to see me, and that's their problem. They started a business. The business is successful, but now they've dug a hole in with the IRS because they have clients or they have employees and they didn't pay the payroll tax. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you don't pay payroll taxes,
we had Precision Payroll come on this show.
And Yes, and you're going to dig a hole that you can't get out of, and then you're going to have Social Security problems because there's what they call mismatch. If your Social Security filings don't match your IRS filings, and they penalize you heavily. They penalize you so heavily that you probably aren't going to make it. That business isn't going to make it, even if it's successful. Even if you make the best pie in the world, and you're selling them, you will dig a hole you'll never get out of. Okay, so my advice here, let me put it in one: get a bookkeeper. That's the best advice. And then if you can't get a bookkeeper,
or like
then
precision
get a good
payroll, for example.
Well, that's for payroll.
But going in as you become more successful, and then you have more employees working for you, make sure you get a payroll system that really does record.
Well, that's key. So it really is. Anyway, key. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, you can do a multitude of things. You can go on YouTube and you can watch our live stream. You can go on our live stream every Friday. Just look up Law Office of Stephen A. Leahy, and you'll be able to see our videos that we do every Friday. Subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Write a question, or you can call Open Tax Resolution 312-664-6649, or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. It's going to be your hub to fight the IRS. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jim Leahy with That Properties, 847-271-3695. Let's start thinking about tomorrow today for your move in 2019. That's right, Jim Leahy, real estate agent from At Properties. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, listen to the sponsors and come back here on AM 560. The Answer.